Okay. Hello, Jake.
Hello.
How are you?
Really, really well.
That's good. It's very early for you. You're in Perth, right?
Yeah. I'm in Perth. I got up at about 5:30, but it gave me a chance to water the garden before the sun fully came up. And I hear that watering the garden in the morning is the best for it. So it's really, it's really was a bit of a blessing.
That's lovely. Are you usually an early bird?
Oh yeah, I'm more earlier than later these days, and especially since not touring, it's like I have no reason to stay up very late anymore.
Very true. I find it like I really want to wake up early, but I find it so hard to get to sleep at night.
Yeah, I mean that's a problem for
Yeah.
early.
I don't get how people can just fall asleep. I mean, I had like a thought that that's maybe why people kind of end their night with a drink of alcohol, but it's just a bit of a mind game trying to sleep.
Yeah, I mean it is. That's what I think. I mean, I know what you mean. Like there's a load of different sort of strategies that I'll go through to get to sleep sometimes. But then again, I
True.
guess the point where you're so exhausted that it's just like you're gone.
Yeah. I was listening to these Rick Rubin podcasts and he does this it was like a biohack kind of interview and he said that he wears blue blockers every night. He does red light therapy and he just does everything to try and train his circadian rhythm. And I was like, I really need to give time to this because getting to
Yeah.
sleep's too hard and I don't think it should be.
What's a blue blocker?
So it's like these they actually look like really sick glasses. They're like I think they're really like it's just one sort of style of glasses, but it's like the red light, like the tint
Uh
on your phone kind of thing.
yeah. Well, I think
Yeah.
since from from I learned from touring that I often like really I sleep with like a face mask, and sometimes I sleep with earplugs in too, like just shut everything out completely. And that for a long time was really good. But then it kind of becomes a bit of a crutch. Like you have to have the full shut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I find if I shut everything off, then my brain, I wouldn't say I'm like a very anxious person, but getting to sleep, I'm not thinking about what someone said or what something did or the future. I'm just thinking about random things. And if I
Yeah.
shut everything out, then I'm just like, I just revert to go to my brain and it's just like a TV show in there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think it took me a long time to realize that because I would just put my head on the pillow, and then that's when something would just turn on and start to solve the problems for the next day. So okay, let's think about what's the plan for tomorrow, or how do I finish this or that. And it took me a long time to realize that that's not necessarily a good thing. Maybe I should just try to push all those thoughts out of my head and just try to get some sleep. So yeah, that took
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to do. I kind of now, I don't know why we've just gotten into this trying to solve my sleeping routine, but
Yeah,
Um, I just do deep breaths and try and follow the visuals in my mind, like down the hole. I don't know if
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. It does. It makes total sense. Yeah, no, that's
um,
good.
I have a bunch on my phone, so wait, a bunch of notes on my phone, so I'll be looking at my phone. But
Cool.
I would love for you to explain the like aversion. How did it happen? How did you want to? What made you want to do these two songs, and how did it all come together?
Well, I mean, have you done like a version? You have, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So you sort of you know how the kind of behind the scenes sort of situation goes with being contacted and kind of putting some ideas to them and that sort of thing. So
Mm,
so I yeah when I got contacted to put some ideas together, I it was the mention of Oz Music Month was kind of was said as well. So I thought, okay, that's I will kind of bring my choices down to Australian musicians. But I've been watching a bit of Rage lately, and I saw Dribble on Rage actually for the first time,
Oh, wow.
which was really cool. So yeah, I was able to put that visual component, and that kind of sowed the seed of your track in my mind. But then I think I also I don't know. I think Frontier Psychiatrist is for me is a song that I guess I'd say they sort of grew up with, but it's just this super iconic Australian song that just no one has really tackled before, and I don't think people necessarily would. And
Yeah,
being that it's
sorry.
like all those the samples from movies and stuff, it kind
Yeah.
of it wasn't really the sort of song that yeah I wasn't gonna. There wasn't really a way for me to do that and do justice to that. So I don't know. I sort of tried. I don't know. I think before I actually even tried it, I had a feeling that they would just fit together perfectly. So I sort of played a few chords and sang it a bit, and I don't know. It just was kind of it just was like magic, you know. It kind of they both fit together so perfectly. I tweaked your I actually asked for the stems to your song, so I have them now. Do a remix. But yeah, I don't know. It just was perfect, and like that melody is so killer. And yeah, it was a good opportunity to sort of like take a new young female artist from Australia and sort of marry together with an older sort of Australian artist and just I don't know make something new, and it was really fun to do.
That's awesome. And thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you even thought of doing this. Like putting Dribble in to your like version. Like, because for me, like a like version is has been such a big deal in my mind, and to think that like someone could think use their time in that spot to like do a young person's music is just so awesome.
Well, I mean, for me, the yeah, that melody is just it really is so killer. And your vocal delivery is like is so nice. And that was the challenge actually was trying to get all of the nuances of your actual your vocal because yeah once you put them both together it sort of it just became its own thing and then it was like
Wow.
really do justice to to this melody because it's it being so good. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
what did you think of the way that we used your it's that your outro section, but I just took that and put it in as I think it was like one of the pre-choruses. Oh, we messed with it a bit, you know, but I don't know. Were you into it?
When I heard the like the bridge being like earlier, I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, okay, we're going there." And then the one thing I didn't expect was the guitar solo to be in it, like the
Mm,
ding ding ding. I was
yeah.
like, surely they're not gonna put that in because like it's like the instrumentation is frontier psychiatrist. Like, but then it was that. I was like, wow, they put everything. It was
It's
crazy.
this is so nice because like I think you probably you're the one person who will get it more than anybody else. Do you know of what like what I've kind of done with it because you know your song so intimately.
Yeah,
Unless you know the Avalanche is on here as well. It's sort of I love talking about the sort of the deep bits of making the music, but I feel like so many other people aren't that interested or find it a bit boring, you know. But
agreed. I find it so interesting. Like, I just want to know why to every single question in the world about music.
I guess that's what this show's all about, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I did have another question about what you just said there, which is kind of unrelated to the music. But do you usually watch cable TV?
Um, well, it's actually, to be fair, it's just ABC iView. We don't actually.
Oh,
It's like it's just off. There's like a television, but it's more just like on the internet.
yeah, yeah, like streaming and
They have
stuff.
like a ABC has, you can just press the stream the live TV part.
Yeah,
part yeah, we used to do that.
true. I feel like I went to my mother's recently and was watching cable TV, and I was just like, "What? How are people still putting up with the ads?" And
Oh,
I didn't. I completely forgot that was a thing.
it's nuts. I don't even. I think when you do see, yeah, like all that free to air stuff, I find it to be so intense. The just like the barrage of it all, it's
Yeah,
like, whoa, it's kind of stressful. But that's
it's
so that's why we just stick to ABC.
yeah. It's definitely a world like I realized that like just like how if I don't know, don't go on Instagram, maybe I'll feel disconnected. Some people who watch cable TV are like, if I don't watch the news, I'm going to be so disconnected from everything. And it's like it's like a little different world. I don't know,
Yeah,
random, but
probably, yeah.
um okay, back to the like version. Please explain how you back up the iconic like version you did of Cry Me a River, and was the process of that like a version different to this one?
Yeah, it was the Crimea River one was definitely. It's like I wanted to do a version of the song and translate, like use the three piece band that we were at the time to kind of just replicate it in sort of the style of us, in the
Mm.
style of how Methyl Ethel was in that time. And so it was kind of I used sort of guitar sounds that I was using at the time, and we sort of built the drums and the string section for Chris to play on the SPD pad and play drums too, and it was sort of a bit more like you would imagine a cover version sort of to be. And because we actually recorded, we did that one in the radio studio, like actually in where where the
Yeah,
drums
yeah.
are. And I don't think that I think that must have been just at the time as they were starting to move them into the studio, so it was way more stripped down. Um, and this time around, I actually built the whole song with your vocal, and I rebuilt the whole Frontier Psychiatrist track from the samples, the original samples from. I just found them all on YouTube and rebuilt the whole track. So I had this actual full demo, of the.
True. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, well, I might send it. I'll send it over to you. It's pretty rough and raw, but that kind of like was because I suppose I've spent the whole last couple of years just producing in my studio. So yeah, that's like was really quick for me to do, and I was able to just have it all there and listen to it. And then Julia, who plays piano, plays keys in the band now. She's also a really good trumpet player, and so she came over and we uh, arranged all the horn section because I sort of asked her, being a horn player, I was like, is it worth getting a horn section for this? And she said totally. So we did that. And the next thing you know, the band's there. So it was it was way more of a bigger production this time.
True. That is a really big step up. Like,
Yeah.
not step up in terms of like song, but like just wow. So much to think about and so many people to like, so many parts to control in a way.
Yeah, I suppose that's just the kind of I do. I mean, I like to kind of grow and do things differently every time. Anyway, I think the nature of having this sort of seven piece band now is that it's sort of it's going to take a bit more time to get everything organized. But at the same time, all the players, you pretty much can just sort of like put something in front of them and we'll work it out.
Did you find it like limiting having a three-piece band, or did you enjoy that kind of minimalism? And then now it's like we can do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think the limitation is really good, especially at that time, And I think it's something that I've always try to do because you're always limited in a way. I guess I'm
Yeah.
limited, so it's just me kind of making it all. But I really I think as the years have sort of gone on, I'm really fond of that Crimea River cover. It's not it's just nice. I think it's
Yeah.
but I love that song. I actually really love that song. So.
It is a really good song. I've been listening to lots of Justin Timberlake recently. And I was in a session yesterday recording drums, and they
Are you playing the drums?
not no, not then. I played cowbell though.
Nice.
Um but I didn't the producer was like, Timberland like beatboxes on all his tracks, and I never knew that.
It's very cool, isn't it? I,
Yeah, he's just like and it sounds dope.
yeah, and just heaps of all those. There's so many weird because it's reminding me because the around that lack of version time, I was just absolutely rinsing that Future Sex Love Sounds album and just all of the tracks that I was just loving so much. But yeah, how many of those songs have just all these weird vocal bits and pieces that he's put on there?
Yeah,
Like there's a
unreal.
laughing, giggling thing in what goes around comes around, or one of those songs is that weird high pitched. I'm not
I'll
gonna
listen.
do it, but you check it out. It's pretty funny.
I'll listen after. That's really weird. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Okay. Now onto your single Neon Cheap left me thinking that my brain. So when I read the lyrics, I read them all and I was like, this feels like when it almost feels like when I'm falling asleep. Like I'm like, there's so many thoughts that I'm like, but I never can explain them, and they
Mm.
all happen in like 5 seconds and then they're gone, and then that whole song like felt like that moment, but you put it all into words, like all of the thoughts, and I was like, it really captures the way your thoughts can cycle around without us even noticing we are thinking, like if we are unaware and stuff. Did you write those in a flow state, or were you actively trying to capture that feeling? But I mean, that is my own interpretation. I don't know if that made any sense either.
No, I mean, I think even just that idea of the flow state is kind of spot on to the way that when it's happening, it's happening. When it's being written. But I've just gotten better at rewriting things over and over and over. But this one was so for me. I can kind of this one I can see in my head. As far as the pictures of the whole thing, and
Wow.
it's kind of a it really does follow its own path. Rather than having a particular narrative, but I think because of it being it's sort of written from the perspective of somebody observing things, and I think that probably is what comes out when I am writing in what you call as like a flow state.
Yeah.
It's sort of like you're writing down what you're seeing, and it's just like that. But I think because at the time as well, it was sort of I think it was just post like US election time and the COVID all the we were deep in sort of COVID horror you know, like we were riding the ghost train of COVID at the time, and it was just sort of like, what the hell is going on? And I was sort of writing it all down, kind of.
Wow. Like the word solipsism really spoke to me, and I was like, I didn't know what that word meant, but I was like, wow, this is something I've always looked into and always thought of in terms of like people only caring about themselves. Because I think to a degree, even like you can be super zen and super in tune with your spirituality or really empathetic, but I think to a degree there's always a bit of ego in everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm
No,
still working.
I
Yeah.
think I know what you're saying, and there's like there are a lot of you can go many ways with that, and like so many different kind of philosophers and whatnot. I've kind of thought about those sorts of things, but yeah, 100%. I think there is a sort of a really natural part of egocentrism. That kind of in a crisis. It's often people will just look to protect themselves, kind of thing as well. So
Yeah. Like even on the plane, they say to put your own mask on before your child or something because you can't really help others unless you think of yourself first.
yeah, hey, that's
Okay.
a good analogy. Look at that. That's beautiful.
I think I heard it somewhere.
No, yeah, you
um,
probably heard it on the plane. I'm sure that
yeah. I read somewhere that your new song Matters is about a revelation you had while in LA that there is an ever present danger lurking beneath your feet. Could you please explain this? Because I loved what I read.
Well, I think that I think well, I was living in LA in 2019, and I think just yeah, it was just the realization that this is a place that has earthquakes, right? And I'm from Perth, and I've never experienced an earthquake before. So it was as simple as I have no idea what the hell I'm supposed to do if there's an earthquake. And then that kind of set me off onto thinking that there can just be these sort of like ever present dangers sort of like around. But I likened it to for people who are from places where there are earthquakes. It's just so every day. When I was growing up in school, we were just taught how to react when there's a snake. Just like
Yeah.
it's you just sort of be calm, don't run away, all the kind of things that you're supposed to do when you see a snake. But for some people, that would be insane. That you just these primary school kids who are just seeing snakes all the time. Yeah, I likened that to the earthquake thing. That's so normal for other people, but to me, I just thought that yeah, that's crazy. I never experienced one, but yeah. So I
Oh,
just
true.
figured out what to do. So and
So, what will you do if an earthquake hit?
well, I wrote it into the lyrics, um, but supposedly the best thing to do is to go onto your bed and cover your head with a pillow.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I read. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure that I read that on like a government website, like a state of California website, and everyone thought like get into the bathtub or stand in the doorway or something like that. Oh, also, I will say supposedly that Perth there is a huge fault line that runs through Western Australia, and like we have had earthquakes here, really tiny ones. But
True. I
so
didn't even know that.
who knows? There might be an earthquake happening right now.
Well, I mean, Melbourne had one, and the tectonic plates aren't even close to it.
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah,
That
that
was
was
wild.
a sad time for Melbourne.
Yeah.
They were suffering through their lockdowns, and then all of a sudden they had an earthquake. That was
They
hard.
could not catch a break.
Yeah,
I would have thought if there was an earthquake, like that you should go to like a field if you had the time to go to a field.
100%. Like run to your nearest huge oval.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly I think what I would have thought as well. But I don't know. Maybe the nearest oval is just maybe that's not a possibility in some of these places. You can't really
Yeah.
get out there in the nearest oval
It's
would
like
be
a predetermined earthquake and you're like, okay, get to the oval for the 10 seconds that the earthquake hits.
yeah.
And then you're safe. I think that's an awesome idea.
Besides, and then it might just be a nice place to catch up with all your friends.
Yeah. Little
Everyone's on.
picnic in the park.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for coming on today.
it was fun.
It was really fun and it was lovely to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Oh, have we actually played a show together one time, or a festival or anything?
I don't think so, but I think we will in Tasmania.
Hell yeah,
Hell yeah.
hell yeah.
And we can maybe put on ABC iView and watch Rage together.
I'll be always down for some rage.
Awesome. Okay, well, I hope you have a lovely day and get a good night's sleep with no thinking tonight.
I'll try my best.